a general example. At the moment, as you're listening to this, you're aware of the sound of my voice. Perhaps as you're watching, you're aware of seeing me here. You're probably not aware of the feeling of the seat underneath your buttocks and your legs. Well, you are aware of it now, but you probably weren't before I mentioned it, right? Because until I mentioned it, it wasn't something that was in your conscious. Your mind was filtering that out. And in order to be aware of that, now to be aware of that, there's something else that you're not aware of, but you don't really know what that is because you're no longer aware of it, right? So we dynamically filter all the time, but there's several key things that shape how we perceive the world. And let's take a look at those now. So that they're no particular order. It's not like they go through a sequence, but we'll group them together. So the first thing, our first filter, if you like, that floorboard is really annoying. I do apologise about that. And the first filter is our values. Now, our values, these are things broad concepts which guide our decisions in life. Basically, a value is something which is important to us. Values are things which are important to us. If it's important to us, if it's high up in our values, it's more likely to get through our filters. If it's not important to us, if it's low down in our values, or it just does not figure in our values at all, chances are it's not going to make its way through the filters. So, for example, somebody whose highest value is health. Now, highest value is health. They're going to be very aware of things which can affect their health, and that could well include things that they eat. Someone for whom health is a much lower value, well, that probably reflects in their choice of food, right? Because their choice of food is less about how healthy it is, and perhaps more about maybe how tasty it is, or how cheap it is, or how quick it is, or a whole host of other things, depending upon our values as well as the other filters. So values shape our experience of the world. Now, I'm going to talk about the things which shape our experience, because these are the things which we need to model if we're modelling somebody else's confidence. Yeah. So values, we need to know what's important to a person. Now, how can you find out what your values are? Basically, just ask yourself, what is important to me? What else is important? What else is important? And just keep going. Come up with your list of things which are important to you. It could be health, it could be wealth, it could be equality, it could be fairness, it could be happiness, enjoyment, working hard, friends. All of these things can be values. There is no right or wrong in terms of values. It's just values are the things that are important to us. Do you think somebody who has wealth as high up in their list of values, do you think they're going to be more aware of opportunities for attracting wealth? Whereas somebody for whom wealth is way down low in their list of priorities, they're not really going to spot the opportunities for creating wealth because it's just not something that's important, right? So values, that's one of the things that we're going to need to model. What else have we got? Beliefs. Beliefs are another set of internal filters, and beliefs, these are convictions. I don't mean convictions in the legal sense. These are something which we hold to be true in life. For example, if you believe that money is evil, well, first of all, you're believing a misquotation from the Bible. They say money is the root of all evil. The actual quote is love of money is the root of all evil, but it has been corrupted over the decades, the centuries. So many people believe money is the root of all evil. Now, if you believe that money is the root of all evil, excuse me, how likely are you going to be to make money, to take opportunities to make money? And chances are probably not, because you believe money is the root of all evil. You believe you need to avoid it. On the other hand, if you have somebody who truly passionately believes that they can do anything they put their mind to, regardless of obstacles, regardless of external circumstances, if they truly believe that they can achieve whatever they set their mind to, that's one of their core fundamental beliefs, they're not going to see obstacles. They're going to see ways to get round all the obstacles. The flip side of that, if you believe you will not amount to anything, if you believe you'll never achieve your goals in life, all you'll see are obstacles. Yeah? You'll see things which fit in with that belief. If your belief is, I will always fail, you will see things which will cause you to fail. If you believe, I can overcome anything, you will see opportunities, solutions, ways around problems. So our beliefs form a very core part of our being, and they form a core part of the things that we want to model in somebody. What do we believe to be true? What are these things which we hold to be true? Another filter is attitudes. Now, attitudes, you can kind of think of attitudes as building on beliefs. Attitudes are like a cluster of beliefs, or a cluster of beliefs and values around a given subject. So on any given topic, we may have a group of beliefs and values, group them all together, and that's an attitude. That forms that attitude around the thing. You might call it a frame of mind around something, or even a mindset around that particular thing. Now, attitudes can be quite hard to identify and pinpoint, which means they can be quite esoteric, they can be quite insidious. If you have a harmful attitude, because it's very hard to pinpoint, it can be quite insidious. But attitudes can be very powerful. If you have a positive can-do attitude, again, you will find ways to be able to do it. If you have an attitude of just do the bare minimum just to get through and survive, you're probably not going to get very far, yeah? So attitudes are another component, another filter, and therefore another thing to model. Because when we model somebody else's filters, start seeing the world the way these other people see it, we will start to see the opportunities and start to get the results that they see. Is this making sense? Please let me know. I mean, please drop comments. Wherever you're watching this, drop some comments. If you're listening to it, drop comments. Or go on to the confidencealchemist.com/radio show, find the page for this episode, pop some comments in there. I will get back to you. I read all the comments. Let me know how you're finding this. Let me know if there's some bits that we need to go over a bit more detail in perhaps another episode. Let me know how you're finding this useful. I really want to know, because that does inform and impact future episodes. Anyway, we've looked at three of our filters: values, beliefs, and attitudes. Another one is memories. Memories can affect our experience of reality. Memories are very often the reason that we have for keeping a belief, whether that serves our best interests or not. The reason for that is our brain tends to categorise events, things that happen to us, based upon our previous experiences. Which means that things in the present and even the future are filtered through these memories. Now, sometimes that can be very, very helpful. If I remember last time I picked up a burning hot coal, it burnt my hand, chances are I'm not going to try and pick up a burning hot coal again in the future, right? Because I know, ow, hurt. So that can be very, very helpful filter. However, there can also be unhelpful memories. Perhaps we may be remembering an event slightly wrongly, or we may not have the full context, or we may only remember negative parts of it, but not the rest of it. So it kind of gets distorted, and the context changes. Memories can fade, and as they fade, parts of them disappear more than other parts. The interpretations can change. So these can have a big effect and impact on how we see the world as it is now and how we see or perceive potential futures. So memories are another key thing to model in someone else. We've got three more things to model, and then we'll have a look at how we can actually model people's confidence. Decisions. The decisions that we make. These are things which are part of our filters. Memories help to perpetuate, if you like, beliefs. And decisions are kind of the flip side. Decisions are the cornerstone of a belief. Because something happens, and we make subjective decisions about what to believe based upon what happened. Now, here's the thing. Something happens. It does not have any absolute meaning in and of itself. Things that happen don't have absolute meanings. We ascribe meanings to them. We're meaning-making machines, for want of a better word. We give meanings to things. Sometimes that meaning is helpful. Sometimes that meaning is less than helpful. And those meanings create decisions. That's why some people may decide, people like me, we never succeed in life. Nobody's going to want to listen to what I say. I'm just never going to make it. People like me, we're not born to be on the stage. Those sorts of decisions, how helpful is it going to be? Not very. On the other hand, if things have happened and you've kind of made the decision, and we make these decisions unconsciously. We don't consciously decide to make this decision. We don't make them unconsciously. But if at an unconscious level you've decided, I'm going to be a star, I am going to make it, chances are you are going to make it. Or you're going to get a lot closer, because at some point that decision has been made, which means everything that's bombarding your senses gets filtered through this, and it's looking for things that fit in with, I am a star, I will succeed, I will make it. Things which match that come through the filters. Things which don't match that, things which contradict that, they bounce off and don't even enter our conscious awareness. So, decisions are a very important filter. And when we have the same sorts of decisions that somebody else has made, they can start to get similar results. Language is another one. Language is a very powerful filter. Now, I don't mean if you speak in French, you'll succeed in one way. If you speak in German, you'll succeed in another way. That's not the sort of language that I mean. What I mean is language. The words we speak, the way we speak, the vocabulary that we have helps to filter our words. Helps to filter our world, I should say. It filters our words as well, but it helps to filter our world. For example, I have not a great deal of knowledge or experience in the world of high finance. So if I were to sit down and read some high finance reports, I might pick up a few little bits and pieces here and there. I'm not really going to get a sense for what's going on. Warren Buffett, on the other hand, who lives and breathes company reports and investment reports and so on, that is what he does. His financial vocabulary, massive, which means he can pick up all the subtleties, the nuances, which means when he's reading his dozens of company reports every day, he really picks up on things that most of us would not see, because his language is really keyed in to spotting those things. Yeah, jargon is perhaps a better word than language to use here. Yeah, because it really, his mind is attuned to the financial jargon. He can see things, he can pick things up that many of the rest of us perhaps wouldn't. So filters, language is a very strong filter. There's one other thing, and I think we're going to have a whole episode about this final one. We'll do that at some point in another episode. Let me know if you fancy the idea. We're talking meta-programs. Now, these are context-dependent thoughts or behavioural patterns. They can include our awareness of time, our responses to challenges, all of these sorts of things. You can kind of think of them as a whole 18 different on-off switches, or even 18 different sliders, different. Each one has a different level. And when we truly understand our meta-programs, we get a far, far deeper understanding of who we are, why we act the way that we act. When we start to understand someone else's meta-programs, we can start to understand how they act, why they act the way that they act. And we could easily spend an hour exploring meta-programs. They have a lot to teach us about confidence as well as many other things. If you're interested, let me know in some comments, or drop me a message, drop me a line on Facebook or email or whatever. Let me know, and we'll take a look at meta-programs and how we can apply those in our pursuit of confidence. We'll do that for another one. But just know that meta-programs are something which form part of our filters. I give some example. Is our motivation? Are we motivated towards what we do want, away from what we don't want? Do we look towards possibility or necessity? How do we know when we're successful?